On this week's episode, we're on the road to New York to see one of the most spectacular natural creations on Earth, Niagara Falls. We'll share with you some history of the falls, as well as some really intriguing facts that you might not be aware of, that involve such things as the War of 1812, a death of a Hall of Fame baseball player, some wild and crazy daredevil feats that have been done, to a movie that helped put Marilyn Monroe in the Hollywood spotlight. Finally, we'll cap things off with an awesome light show and fireworks. So we invite you to come along and experience with us the wonder and beauty of Niagara Falls, right here on History and Relics. Niagara Falls, one of the most breathtaking natural creations you'll ever witness. The word Niagara comes from the word Angayara, which means a thundering noise or thundering waters. It's the second largest waterfall in the world, after Southern Africa's Victoria Falls. The falls are about 12,000 years old and were formed when melting glaciers formed massive freshwater lakes, the Great Lakes, one of which, Lake Erie, ran downhill towards another, Lake Ontario. The rushing waters carved out a river in their descent and at one point passed over a steep, cliff-like formation, the Niagara Escarpment. From the original falls going over the Niagara Escarpment, the waters began to wear their way back up the river. The path that it left is known today as the Niagara Gorge, a deeply cut and very scenic river path. Today, the Niagara River flows at approximately 35 miles an hour and wears its way back approximately 1 foot per year. So you might be asking yourself, will the falls ever erode away completely? Well, the answer is yes, but scientists estimate that the world's second largest waterfall will disappear into Lake Erie, but not for another 23,000 years from now. And while it's not the tallest waterfall in the world, it likely has the highest flow rate, meaning that about 76,000 gallons of water per second fall from the American and Bridal Veil Falls, while over 700,000 gallons of water fall per second over the Horseshoe Falls. All total, about 3,160 tons of water flows over the falls every second. Although the falls lie between the United States and Canada, Niagara Falls is not owned by any one country. There is, however, an agreed boundary line that is visible on the North American map. The boundary divides the three waterfalls between the two countries. The Horseshoe Falls is on the Canadian side, while the American and Bridal Falls are on the American side. The Maid of the Mist is Niagara Falls' exclusive boat tour. It was launched in May 1846 as a ferry to cross the U.S.-Canada border. The boat, resembling a barge, was powered by steam from a boiler. It carried as many as 100 passengers. It became a tourist attraction in 1848, changing its course to bring passengers closer to the falls. In 1885, Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse created the world's first hydroelectric power plant in Niagara Falls. Today, the falls are capable of generating 4 million kilowatts of electricity, which is enough to supply more than a quarter of all the power used in New York State and in Ontario, Canada. Now, there have been some amazing feats accomplished here at the falls, done by some courageous individuals, although some might say they were a bit crazy too. In the fall of 1829, American Sam Patch jumped down the Horseshoe Falls, dropping some 175 feet into the Niagara River. Patch was known as the Yankee Leaper. He made the plunge and survived, the first man to do so. Annie Edison Taylor, or Queen of the Mist, was a school teacher from Bay City, Michigan. and was the first person to travel over the falls in a barrel on October 24, 1901. Other attempts to go over the falls have been made over the course of years. Some have been successful, others not so much, including several ending in fatalities. Some daredevils have also used different methods for the plunge, including using a kayak, a jet ski, a steel barrel, a set of inner tubes, and even a large rubber ball. As spectacular as many of these attempts have been, remember, many have perished in their attempts to conquer the falls, and those who have survived face heavy fines by both the Canadian and American authorities for their otherwise illegal stunts. So it might just be best all around to leave the plunging to the native fish, who actually have a far better rate of survival than humans, since they have an inherent ability to flow with the water and swim away. It's also important to note that on average, between 20 and 30 people die going over the falls each year. Many go unpublicized. The majority of the deaths are ruled suicide, and many take place from the Canadian Horseshoe Falls. One notable death at the falls occurred in 1903, involving a Baseball Hall of Famer, Ed Delahanty, who was kicked off of a passenger train at Bridgeburg on the Canadian side for being unruly, and just before the train was to cross the International Railway Bridge in Buffalo, New York. To this day, it's unclear whether his demise was due to his continuing the scuffle outside that led to him being kicked off of the train initially, or an accident by him walking off the bridge since the incident was late at night, or a suicide due to other compounding problems that he was facing at the time of his death. Delahanty's body was found a week later at the bottom of the falls, discovered by the Maid of the Mist. Some other notable or important facts about the falls includes the War of 1812, being a turning point in Niagara Falls history, when the fledgling United States Army fought one of the war's bloodiest battles against British loyalists for the new lands that would become Canada. Then there are literary works, such as Uncle Tom's Cabin, a famous novel published in 1852 by Harriet Beecher Stowe, that was partially inspired by the writer's trip to Niagara Falls and her subsequent interest in Reverend Josiah Henson, who smuggled slaves across the Niagara River into Canada. Then we have the 1953 film Niagara, which starred Marilyn Monroe as a honeymooner with a wandering eye. The film marked Monroe's explosion as a film phenom. And speaking of honeymoons, the falls have been the traditional honeymoon capital of the world for more than 215 years. And now, without further ado, let's explore the falls up close and then get ready for the outstanding fireworks display.
room was that I had prisms hanging in the windows.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our program. If you like our content, we ask that you give us a thumbs up, a like, share with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so you always know when our new content is published. And all of this costs nothing, but means a lot to us and keeps us growing. You may also leave us a tip if you choose. The address is provided here on your screen, and a link is provided in the description area below. So until next time, everyone, this one is history. Hey, and be sure to check out our eBay store under ID, History, and Relics. We're now featuring channel merchandise, starting with our new logo magnet. They're only $5.50, and net proceeds go towards supporting our channel.